kind of a hard thing to talk about, but I could do it. I got this. So I wanted to talk today. I know that on YouTube, eventually the videos will get to whoever's following you or whoever picks up on the title. So I'm just gonna do a video. I pretty much tried all kind of different outlets like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and it seems as if nobody really knows what to do or how to help me. So, what was it, September of last year? I noticed that my daughter was having like these weird night sweats. Like she would sweat a lot, and she would scratch, but she has eczema. So I knew she had a condition that could make her be that way, but it just seemed so excessive because I have eczema too. I know that it could be a pain, but she was scratching in places where she didn't have the eczema, so that became weird because she's always bathed. She's clean. I try not to put any harsh chemicals in her water when I'm washing her clothes, so that it don't bother her eczema. So I'm noticing that. Then I'm noticing she's having breathing changes. And whenever she wakes up, she's holding her head. So sometimes, majority of the time, she will wake up and she will cry. Oh my gosh, she would just be crying and she'd be holding her head. So I noticed that for like 2 weeks because everything kept gradually changing. It would be one thing this day, one thing next day, and then it would like keep adding up. So I just start seeing like a rush of symptoms after like a week and some change. And I just was so lost, and I was basically in the hospital up until like my 32nd week with her. And she was born preemie. She was born 2 months early. Her original due date was November 11th, 2022. Um, she came on the 15th of September because I had preeclampsia. This whole thing is so hard for me to talk about. But I've been crying all morning. I'm not even embarrassed. I know people gonna see this. People I know, people I don't know. I don't care. My heart hurts. I never have cried so loud for help. But my baby is mine, and I need her. It's not about me. It's about her. And like I said, I know where to reach somebody. But um, so from her being born at 32 weeks, um, she was already dealing with a lot. She was born at 4 pounds. I decided to name her O'Shean Dae'dream because she became my peace. I always go to the ocean when I'm so sad. I'm always at the ocean looking at the water. And I had already lost 4 babies, so I was already crushed and damaged when I got pregnant with her. I was like, yes, she stayed, she fought. She's my peace, so I don't need the ocean anymore. Everybody already called me daydream, but every time I go to the ocean, all I do is sit there and daydream and let out everything that I feel. And that was my peace before I had her. So I just took the name Ocean Daydream and I gave it to her. The day I found out I was pregnant, I had a dream uh, that said ocean. It was spelled Oshean in big black letters. uh, in a white background. I never forget it. I had just found out I was pregnant. I said, God told me that's her name. And I just added the daydream on because everything made sense. Not only did I get Ocean in my dream, but that's where I go normally to get my peace, anyways. And she was such a daydream to me, you know. She made it. She's so peaceful, like to me, you know, my peace. But I will watch her every day in the NICU, and I can't even explain that type of pain. Not being able to pick her up, or her machine, that noise, those beeps they constantly make is so traumatizing. And nobody understand unless you going through it. And it's traumatizing. So you really don't ever forget. I knew I was always gonna go hard for my daughter when we was from when we was in the NICU. It was a day where her um her heart, like she was having problems with her heart rate and her pulse, and it kept dropping. And the nurses kept saying, well, if you see a drop, don't try to help her. Let her do it on her own. I understood what they meant because they've been doing it for weeks, but the problem was that it's been weeks. So I'm watching her, and they like, if you see that happen, don't touch her. And I'm like, I can't tell her mom, not to have a mom instinct and do what she got to do to help her baby, because when that would happen in the NICU, they just advise you, when you get home, if you see them pause for breaths, you know, you could tap them, and then it'll get them to start breathing again because they realize that they stopped. She would stop breathing from 10 to 20 seconds. And in my mind, that's a danger. And one day she was having really bad pauses, and the nurses was just sitting in the front acting like it was nothing. So she paused, sorry. She paused in her breathing, and I helped her. And I tapped my daughter. I did. I helped her to breathe again. And they took me. They got mad. Called security. Took me from my daughter for an entire 24 hours. And then the next day, when I came back, they were like, we took you away because we wanted you to just get some sleep. I never left my daughter. And the NICU parents go home, they gotta go to work. I gave up my job, I gave up everything, I quit everything, and I stayed in the NICU with my daughter the whole 2+ months she was there. I did not leave her side. And they were like, well, you need to go home. You needed to go home. So we wanted to give you a break. And the rage I felt in my heart, because I'm a Black mom. This is a Black child in the hospital. I'm there every day with that girl. I have anxiety. I had to have her early because I had preeclampsia. I could have had a seizure at any moment because my blood pressure was sky high. I could have lost my baby. You see, I'm with her every day. They don't know that I lost 4 babies already, and it don't even matter. They just tried to take her away from me for 24 hours because I tried to help her. I knew in that moment that the healthcare system is gonna fail her every time. When they took me away for helping her, I knew that the healthcare system was gonna fail her every time. They apologized to me the next day. They ended up saying, "Oh, we're sorry. Um, It actually was a good thing that you helped her because yeah, I have to go home anyway. So we apologize for taking you away. That's why we asked you to come back in today because I wasn't here yesterday. The lady in charge is saying I wasn't here yesterday and I wouldn't have, told you to go home or anything like that because it's your daughter. So I understand. And I'm just looking at them like you can't be serious. I just separated me from my daughter for no reason and y'all could have been doing anything to her in here that y'all wanted to. And nobody I knew from that day the mistake that they made, that huge mistake that they made because I helped her. They made a huge mistake and apologized for it. I knew that they would fail her. And if they took care of her, they wouldn't know what they would do and that they would make a mistake and come back to me and apologize for it later in life because that's what they already showed me. They showed me failure. And so, I guess I am in so much pain in my heart for my baby. So, um, speed up to September of last year, I'm noticing all the symptoms that I had previously talked about, plus more. And it was so bad. Her symptoms were so bad. Um, I asked the doctor, can you please check her blood? Like, just check her blood work. Just make sure she's all right because I noticed in her lab work that something was off. Uh, I noticed that the doctors wasn't checking her blood. Daughter was actually admitted into the hospital in March of last year, and I asked the doctors to do blood work on her. I asked them to do it like while she was in there so they could figure out what's going on with her and if her blood levels was off. When I look into my chart, they never drew the blood work on my daughter that they said they did. When they took her blood, when I let them come and draw her blood and said, okay, well, we'll see, what the results are and stuff. And they coming back, they literally kept saying everything's normal. The whole time I did not know they did not do her blood work. So in September, I'm telling her, like, yeah, I didn't even, nobody did her blood work in March or since March. And you have seen her a lot of times since March, September. Why ain't nobody checking on my daughter? When I look back to her lab work from when she was first born, they don't even have the same blood draw orders. So it's not even the same names up there. It's different stuff that they drew her for instead of just normal CBC BNP. She don't have that stuff that I see up there. So basically, she could have gotten polycythemia anywhere between birth and up until September of us finding out of last year. And they can't tell me nothing because they didn't keep up. They just had me under the impression that they were, and giving me results that really wasn't there. I just had to look because I'm like, something off, Let me just check her levels real quick and see. And then I noticed her red blood count, her hemoglobin, her hemocrat is way too high. And then I'm like, okay, so let me just Google. I'm just looking up. When you Google that, the first thing that comes up is polycythemia vera. It's most of what comes up. So I'm like, let me look into this. Let me see, what's going on. So I rate her doctor back on my chart. I'm like, can you please, like, just try to rule her out for polycythemia because I need to make sure that my daughter is okay and she does not have this. And she's like, all right, I'm gonna put her for her blood work. You can bring her in. So I went and brought her in. Her red blood count, her hemoglobin, and her hemocrat is still high. So I'm like, I'm getting worried, doctor. Uh, can you help me out? Like, can we just trend it? In the hospital, I've been working at the hospital for 12 years before I quit. But when you trend it, it's basically like seeing what it looks like every 1 to 2 weeks or every month, once a month, depending on what y'all decide. You can even come in once a week, but the trend is to see if it goes down or up. Her trend stayed the same. Everything was high. So we did a trend of 3 weeks first. Each week we came in, the red blood count, the hemoglobin, and the hematocrit sky high. She's still having symptoms. I'm asking the doctors, what can we do to help her out? And they're acting like they don't know what they're doing. So she gets sick. She ended up having RSV, if I'm not mistaken, and then they kept her in the hospital at the end of last year. But they also started working on her polycythemia. During that doctor's visit, they asked me about her head, and I told them before she was wearing a helmet, and I told them the shape of her head is kind of like hard. It's moving, but it's not really moving. So then they tell me, well, the reason that might be is because they I had them do a scan. We did the scan, and she has chronocytosis or chronosyntoses. Is really hard to say. Um, and that's basically a cranial condition where like your head would form together as an infant 6 months. In her case, 6 months. And it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be soft basically and shape around up until like your first year. So I found out, about the cranial thing being in the hospital, but we already was keen on the polycythemia because we already started working on a trend. So I just tried to have them do her blood work. Then they was able to get some of the blood to do some tests, but of course they didn't get all the stuff. They really went for what I wanted them to do, which was the CBC. When they did the CBC, everything just kept coming back the same. So even up until today, her levels are high. The problem is that polycythemia is super rare blood cancer. The average 65 to 75-year-old man would be diagnosed with it. Of course, there would be teenagers and stuff like that, but it's rare. So it's rare. 50 out of 100,000 people only have it. 50, only 50. My whole thing is out of the 50 as 100,000, every 100,000, why does my baby have to be one of them? Now, I believe in God. I always pray. I always ask God to help, my heart because my daughter is diagnosed with it. She's a baby, she's one. All she know is I want my toys, or I'm tired or I'm hungry or change my diaper or I want to walk. The the happy parts of her were black. Statistically speaking, right? Black women, black kids die more than any race. Any- And I feel like, let me be clear. Statis- Statistically speaking, black women and children in the United States die more than any race in hospital. That means they don't give a crap. One of my miscarriages. Caucasian doctor walked into my room when I was in the emergency room. And I'm thinking, I'm like, I see my baby heartbeat and everything. He come in, he go, well, Miss Smith, at this point you just waiting to miscarry. And then I'm like, I start crying and stuff, and he was like, well, maybe it's just a streak of bad luck. And started laughing. And the man is white, but he was the doctor that I was there, and I had to ask for another doctor because what the excuse me, what, all the trauma that I had, in my life, all the hurt. I've been raped before, and nothing in this world hurt me worse than seeing my daughter hurt. I think that trump any everything ever been in my life. To have a healthcare system, to have doctors, to get all this, knowledge, all this schooling, just to turn around and tell a mother like me, we can't help you. We don't know what to do with her. My doctor, my doctor was even like, okay, well, talk to her doctor, see what, because I told him before about it, I don't know what to do. As rare as she was, she can't even talk to me and tell me, like, she tell me with crying, and even when she do that, I'm just not sure what it is, what's hurting her, or so I gotta keep going to the hospital and just keep having doctors say, oh, well, they consider her levels normal. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they like, we go off of the average level um, when it comes to polycythemia for a child and for an adult. Like, it's the same. And I'm like, nothing is the same with adults and children. The levels, blood levels, everything is different in the system. You can't, how you gonna tell her mother, how you gonna tell me that you could only, check her blood based off of adult levels. So if the emergency for polycythemia, because it's so rare, so if the emergency number would be 25 for an adult, their hemoglobin or hemocrit going to 25, you telling me that that's the same for a child with a smaller body, with a different system and everything? You telling me that she's gonna have to wait until her levels get up to 25 for you to take her serious, even though you see her having symptoms right now. And they said, yeah. I told her doctor, that's not right. That's not right. Her doctor agreed. Even her doctor agreed. Her doctor says she needs a doctor that knows how to deal, a hematologist that took care of a child that had polycythemia. She said a child under 10. And that actually took care of a actual child with polycythemia, which is rare to find right now. But she's helping me, referring me to different places. I already took my daughter to Boston Children's, and they're supposed to be one of the best hospitals in the United States. And they failing me. I took her to one of the top hospitals in the United States, and they basically confirmed the same thing Boston did. They're her main doctors. Those are the ones that's telling me they can't help her. And I feel like they're failing me and my daughter. Somebody in the world gotta see this video, man. Even out of my subscribers, somebody gotta freaking see it. They have to see this video. It has to be talked about. Polycythemia needs to be talked about. My daughter needs a freaking good doctor. I don't give a fuck about no beef. I don't care about no beef. I don't care about no arguments. I don't care about social media. I don't care about none of that. I need to find my baby a good doctor. I need to find my baby a good doctor. I always go on TikTok or Instagram and I ask all these moms, if there moms up there. I mean, moms that been following me on there since she been born, and I'm like, can y'all, even if y'all could ask around or see, and some moms are, but it just I'm not reaching who I need to reach because I still haven't found the right doctor. This video is going to circulate better, Chris. I'm claiming it. Somebody is gonna receive this video and watch it and help and help us out because we need it. I need help finding her doctor because they're not here. It's not where we live. We need to travel. We need to go. I made a GoFundMe for her. I'm trying to get as much help as possible because people don't know that I let my job go again. I got hired back into my job, but she and her complications, I can't work. I can't do it. I can't work. I can't do it. So I had to quit. So I did GoFundMe for us, and I'm not ashamed of crying. I'm just thinking in my head, like, stop crying. These people miss me. I just don't care. I need help finding her a good doctor. Even if you see this and you want to help with the GoFundMe, if you see this and you could tell me a good hospital to bring her to, if you see this and you could give me a good prayer, if you see this and you could give me even just advice, that would be wonderful. Right now, I'm stuck. I tried. I've, everything's fine. I'm a good mom. Anybody that been following me on social media or following me in general, no, I love my daughter. I gave up my job, my life, everything for that baby because she's mine. I love her. If you are a mom, it only took me a second to pray for me. My daughter, my heart hurts so bad for my baby. It ain't nothing but love for her. But I'm also hurting for her because I just want to help her. I wish I ain't need no doctor in the world, man. I wish I could just go and heal her without going through them because I know they're failing us. If I could just heal her myself, like if God could just give me the power to heal my baby myself. I wish, man, I wish. Doctor talk about life expectancy and no, 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 no. She gonna live a healthy life. We gonna find her a good doctor. I'm not talking. You miss this heaviness. Because again, she just a baby. I'm carrying this for both of us, and I'm alright with that. I got her. I got her. I'm gonna keep advocating for my daughter. In September, her doctor and the hematologist kept telling me she do not have polycythemia. When we were trending her, they was like, she don't have it, she's fine. We're telling you she gonna be all right. And every time it never changed, I kept saying, how are y'all gonna keep telling me it's all right? She has it. Until they got it. It was Miss Smith, you're right, she does. She has it. Let's see, what we can do from here. And then they find out that they can't do nothing at all. That they don't know what to do because to them, her levels are fine, even if they're still high. They're not at 25, so they don't take her serious. I need a doctor that's gonna take my baby serious because her levels been high since September. They have not come down yet. Nobody don't understand the fucking pain. She's still going through symptoms. She's still going through it. So if you could please help me some type of way and with whatever information you can, then it would be great. My heart hurts. I am drained. I gave up everything for my baby, and I don't regret nothing. Right now, I just need help. I need somebody to please, whatever you can do, whatever you can do. All of our socials, our GoFundMe, everything will be in the description box. God is going to get this video to who needs it. I have faith. I trust in him. I can't lose that. I can't lose her. If you can, don't hesitate to pray. Don't hesitate to help somehow because I need it. People to pray for. I can't be prideful when I can't even help her. I can't be prideful when I'm not a doctor. So please, uh, if you can, don't hesitate to love on her a little bit, even if you're a stranger. You may not know my daughter, or may have never met me, but I'm a good person, and I love my baby. Just look on my social media. I love her. That's all I talk about. That's all I care about. That's all I cry about. But if you can, love on her a little bit, or love on her a lot somehow. I'm gonna be thankful either way because it took a village, and I know now with this being something rare and these hospital facilities failing us, that I need all the support in all the village that I can get right now. That I have a lot of support from people all over, but I it's not helping. It's support like, hey, how are you doing? Or I prayed for you, and that's okay too. That's okay too. But by support, I mean like, somebody that might know a hematologist. Let me know that type of support. Help me find a good doctor for her. I'm trying on my own as well. I'm trying on my own as well. Again, I had to quit. I actually sent them a letter already to my job because I can't. I have so much anxiety being away from her. Nobody know how to take care of her. When she lethargic, I can't leave her. So please, however you can, with whatever information, whatever help, just thank you. because I know this has to touch somebody's soul. Everybody can't be ignored. Not even ignored, but somebody, somebody gotta be a good doctor. It has to be a good doctor. I know it's somebody that can take care of her, man, but she can't stay like this. And she can't keep having high blood, like at blood work levels, and she can't. It's been months. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. It's almost May. And they left my baby with the levels that she had without trying anything, without doing anything for her. I need help. Help. Please, I'm sorry. If you listen to this whole thing, thank you. I honestly am heartbroken. I'm shattered. The last time I was up here, it was for a video I did on the domestic violence I experienced in Georgia when I got beat up and left stranded and had to find my way back home. That's the last time I was on YouTube. The last horrible thing that hurt me almost as bad as this because nothing hurt me worse than what my baby going through. I've been going through a lot since then. There's a bunch of videos on my social media about what we went through, me and my daughter, for these past few years since that happened. It's a lot. I could come back up here and do a daily or a weekly vlog and figure out what I'm going to talk about and what I want to do. But I'm hurt. I'm so sad. I cried all the time about my daughter, all the time about my baby. But I know it's going to be alright. God got a plan for my daughter. I felt in my stomach when I was pregnant with her that she was special. I don't know what her purpose is or what she was supposed to do in life, but she's very special. Special. I can't wait to see the things she do. And what she become. O'Shean Dae'dream, you know? She's already a star in my eyes. And she gonna be alright. But God is good, y'all. I'm gonna end this now to make sure she's alright. If you please, if you have time, please look into our pages. Just if you want to follow the journey, then follow the journey, you know. If you want to give advice, you can give advice. If you want to help out somehow, you can. Everybody that knows me knows I'm a great mom. I document everything. I love keeping documentation of her for sure. I document everything in life because I can help somebody else. There'll be another mom that's gonna go through what I go through, and she'll be able to look at this video. It may make her sad. It may, bring a bunch of emotions to her, but it can help her start somewhere somehow. Some moms don't even know how to or where to start when it comes to advocating for the baby, and you start at home, work your way out. We gonna find her a doctor somewhere in the U.S. Somebody that know what they doing and know how to take care of her and don't base her levels off of adult levels. Her own pediatrician said that the hematologists need to take her levels more serious because they have not come down since they told us she had polycythemia, which was September. She said that's alarming. So to have these hematologists just not pay her any mind is crazy to me. They don't care about my baby, and I can't let her die. I can't lose my daughter. I can't let them ignore her, and then she starts hurting because they ignore her. I have to find her a good doctor that's gonna make sure she lived the longest, most healthiest, life per blood levels as possible. Because I got everything else. I'm gonna make sure she gonna be alright everywhere else in life. I just need to make sure her blood levels are normal from inside, so I can work on the outside with her. So just please, if you can, um, just read the description and look into my socials. That'll back me up for everything. Um, that backs me up for everything. God bless y'all. Let me go give my daughter some kisses. God bless you. And thank you for listening.